Welcome, residents. We're here again with Todd Bowan to talk a little bit more about Rotary. This is part of our ongoing series calling the Community Corner with the Supervisor Dick Thurston, and hopefully we'll have other elected members of our board and community talk with you about other activities, interest in the coming weeks and months ahead. But Todd, at the first discussion, we were reviewing Rotary International and much of what's happening. You gave a little bit of insight into our local Wappingers Falls, Rotary. But why don't you mention? You mentioned that we have 23 members, yeah. But we have a ongoing, and actually now I think quite active. We have maybe a handful, a half dozen or so folks that are interested in joining Rotary. Why don't you talk about membership, both how you become a member, but also what are the duties, responsibilities, obligations in that sense of becoming a Rotarian?
Yeah. So becoming a Rotarian is very easy. Usually we have a website, wappingersrotary.org. There's information on there, but we also meet at Longobardi's on Thursdays at 12:15. Which any prospective members are required to come to 3 meetings before we can get your application.
But usually they're sponsored by a member who invites them to come in, and actually that sponsor will pay for their meal.
Yeah, and really guide them into the club and stuff like that. But right now our Rotary years run from July 1st to the end of June. So right now our dues are actually half off right now. So dues are $210 a year. That goes to our club, the district, and Rotary International. It goes back to all the projects we do, which I'll list in a minute. So right now is the best time to join because you get half off, and then July 1st, the new year will come around.
Mention, when I was in Taiwan, the Rotary, I was a Paul Harris member, fellow, I think they said then. For I think 3 or 4 years. What is a Paul Harris, and what does that mean with respect to our club?
So Paul Harris is one of the finest things you can earn in Rotary, which actually the Rotary Club of Wappingers Falls was at one point 100% Paul Harris Fellows.
Wow.
So they were all, I think it was 2020, 2021 year, but we're not anymore because we got new members. To get Paul Harris Fellow, you need to donate $1,000 to that. To the Paul Harris Foundation.
And when you become a Rotarian, you'll get a banner, but you'll also get a pin.
Yep.
And Paul Harris has a special pin, right?
Correct. Yep.
Yeah, correct. Yep. And also there's a nice each year the Rotary theme has a tie, and some various things that you could proudly wear. But when you look at our club itself, what are the various committees, and particularly talk about the membership, committee and how you become a member. You said it's easy, right? Yeah. It's not that costly, but what does one need to do that may be watching right now?
Yeah, so the membership committee is newly formed. Currently the membership chair, we have about 4 other committee members on it, which is one is yourself. Driving the initiative of gaining more members. Our club members are kind of on the older side, and we want to let their legacy live on, help the community and stuff like that, which we are doing and growing in numbers because of this initiative. But they put in a lot of time and effort into going out there, and especially corporate memberships. We're focusing on more. We have a policy and stuff like that. So really, the best way is to either contact a current Rotarian, which all the list of names are on our website. And then answering your other question about committees, there's many committees get involved in. We have a golf tournament committee, coffee and tea festival committee. Those are the 2 biggest committees we have in the membership.
Which, by the way, the coffee tea, that's coming up in April.
Yeah, April, I think 16th.
In Poughkeepsie?
Yep, Revel 32 in
Revel
Poughkeepsie.
32. Yep. It's a great event, where we have tea, coffee, suppliers, vendors, sampling. It's of all varieties, really a popular one. Because, this, plus you mentioned the golf tournament are actually major fundraising initiatives And why don't you just talk about that? But what does the fundraising go into?
Yeah.
You know, what do we contribute to it?
So some key fundraisers we do are the golf tournament, Touch a Truck, Cup of the Valley, which is a coffee tea festival. We do scratch-off raffles, and then a concession stand at Bowan Park when the runners run in September, I believe, each year. And then all the proceeds go to our scholarships. Last year, we donated $12,000 worth of scholarships to Ketchum seniors or people who live in the Ketchum area. And then Student of the Month, we run a Student of the Month program during the school year where we recognize 5 local WCSD students. They come to Rotary, they get an award, they get a lunch on behalf of the Rotary, also Barnes & Noble gift card and a gift certificate to Longobardi. So they get a lot in return. So
and you know that it's a great program. You know, the schools are the ones that come up with the Students of the Month, and then we have this event at our once a month on a Thursday meeting. But what's so nice about it is that we get a chance to see very impressive young people. You know, our school district and system really has a lot of fine students in it. So, you know, we have this wonderful Student of the Month program, and I attend the meetings regularly, but we also give them a little certificate, and the mayor of the village of Wappinger Falls. And I just am really tickled and touched, you know, by a program that actually one of our great members, Stan Straub, started, I think he said 30 or 40 years ago with just one. So now we're at 5, and as Todd said, each of the 9 months, you know, that the school's in session, the teachers come, the parents come, siblings come. Talk a little bit more about it and you know what we do that is further outreach of this nature.
yeah, so Student Month is a really good one, and we get to see a lot, like you said, with the student. But our RILA program, which is the Rotary Youth Leadership Awards program, which I'm also the chair of. It takes place at Mount St. Mary College in Newburgh, usually in July, and we sponsor 5 Ketchum sophomores to go. And usually they're really nervous, the ones we pick, which Rotarians get to go and do a site visit, see what's going on. Darby and I went the last 2 years, and it's really good to see. You know, they come in really nervous, and then they come out of their shell, and they also make friends and keep these friends because we invite them to Rotary. They talk about their experience, and they actually do talk to these kids after they meet them. And it's just not the 5 Ketchum students, it's kids all around the surrounding area within all the clubs and District 7210.
Yeah, and you know, so a lot of what Rotary tries to do is to enhance, you know, leaders, you know, future leaders in small communities like ours and business and other organizations. You don't have to be a businessman or woman, you could be any organization. In fact, we have our school superintendent, you know, joining as a Rotarian here. And, you know, so we welcome that. We also have other programs. Talk a little bit about Interact. Describe what Interact is and how we involve the students.
Interact is actually how I started and I got involved in Rotary. Interact is a community service organization within the high school that we sponsor. They're composed of, they have their own officers and stuff like that, president, and they have members. They have about 80 members or so in Ketchum currently. And they help with a lot of events, with, you know, Town of Wappinger events, Village, the PTAs of the local elementary schools. You know, they host blood drives, so they do stuff for their community also. And we are glad to support them, help them, and sponsor them.
Yeah. So, you know, that is something that they have a president, they have a chapter, right? And then the students, if you're out at Ketchum, you can volunteer for that. And we really emphasize, you know, not just the Rotary, but the town for volunteers. And this is a great way. You know, if you went to our community day, you probably saw, you know, a number of students who really did a great job, you know, for that. In closing, Todd, what would you like to, points you'd like to make, you know, to our community?
So Rotary is, there's a lot of myths about Rotary than what it was back in the day, but it's definitely changed, a lot more focused on youth and, you know, giving youth what they need to in their adult world, and also giving back to the community is the biggest initiative and what our club really wants to do in Wappinger and Wappinger Falls. And so we invite anyone to join Rotary. Just stop by, go to our website, or contact one of us.
Yeah, people always ask me why, you know, and I think giving back to the community meeting our young people, which this club's very active with, and we have Touch a Truck, we have other events, seeing the happiness, but also following them through their career. Todd is a great example, is a leader and even more so a future leader. So please, participate, come on out. If you're curious, let me know, let Todd know, and we'll, invite you to a meeting and get a sponsor. So thank you. Thank you for your interest, and please, until soon, stay safe and remain well. Thank you.